It's been a while since I've done any of these review videos. If you've seen any of my previous ones, you know that I don't get time to do them very often. Don't get the time to sit, listen to the album, write down my thoughts, feelings, how they all go together. But this album I wanted to do because I actually quite like Motionless in White and their new album Disguise. I had this album a couple of days ago. As you all know, I work in the industry. I'm a DJ and I occasionally get albums, get to listen to albums before they're released. So if people always kind of say to me, "Ooh, where can I get the album from?" and that kind of thing, never going to happen. Never going to release or leak an album that I get or get to listen to as a promo copy. Here are my thoughts on the entire new album Disguise, out on June the 7th, may I add. Definitely get myself a copy when it comes out. Really enjoy it. The metalcore is really quite strong in this album, and in this song in particular. Now, the problem lies in just how uninteresting the song can be, though, however, because of it. There's bog standard riffs, predictable breakdowns, and a really kind of bland chorus. Now, the thing is, I actually really enjoy the song, as long as you try not to look too much into it and take it as face value. The issue is that hundreds of maybe people that listen to it, critics or other, will think that it's just another safe album. There's not enough to save it from being more than a shrugging of the shoulders from, the marks, should I say. Headache. Korn. Well, at least that's what it reminds me of anyway. Big, dirty, screaming voice of "shut up, shut up, shut up." It's so Jonathan Davis-esque, and the guitar sounding synth noise, or whatever you want to call it, is also very reminiscent of Korn. You can't get any more early 90s new metal, really. Whether or not it's meant to basically sound like Korn 2.0, where you're going to hear all those influences, I was transported back to what seemed like 1994. I had some kind of seizure. As I'm a new metal kid at heart, probably resided more with me than it probably would do with other people. Code. Just a pure song with more catchy riffs, like the previous ones before it. You've got that industrial side of Motionless in White present in the song, and also their new metal kind of version of themselves as well. You can hear so many different genres at once. You have the soft new metal lyrics from the likes of Adema, the metalcore melodic chorus bits, the whole middle section as well, where the chorus goes straight into a mini verse and then back to the chorus. Totally fits in well and doesn't seem out of place. Motionless in White are a band who knows how to make catchy metal tracks from a modern metal perspective, as well as keeping in tone with their own new metal roots and industrial tones. Considering critics hate new metal, and the fact that Motionless in White use them well to critical acclaim is brilliant in my personal opinion. Thoughts and prayers. I've not heard a double bass pedal pounded in such a fashion where it feels like the drummer's legs are about to fall off. It begins with pitchy samples and then that metalcore harmony kind of chorus again. Now, I listened to this twice before putting down what my thoughts were, and I may be nitpicking a bit, but I didn't think the melody from the verse to the chorus went very well. It kind of went from, I'm really frantic, and then, I'm not really. I may well just be being over critical, and my musical brain, should I say, maybe just being completely anal over the entire thing. But overall, it's a good song. So many moving parts that, though sounding different, connect very good in different areas. Legacy. Now, I don't know what to make of this song. For me, it's the weakest on the album, in my opinion anyway, and just sounds more like filler. I understand a change of pace is needed to break up an album from the fast-paced rollercoaster we've already been on, but I find the song a bit too flat. I don't mean the arrangements or the instruments or the vocals, it's just the song as a piece just does not feel right to me. It's nothing special, and I've listened to it 2 times over, and it's just way too repetitive for my liking. When going for a third, I ended up just skipping it. I've not said anything to do with ratings at the minute, but out of 5, it's a 2. Undead Ahead. This song shows off the imagination and storytelling. The effects are used to giving it much more of an epic kind of feel, and the pacing is perfect, especially with the drumming. The only issue I have is that it could have done without the child singing la 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 la. It just pulls you out a little bit. I understand why it's there, it's something that could be used in a better way and maybe just not that at all, and better suited to maybe a different song. It made the smashing breakdown section less impactful to me than it could have been. I mean, Chris is just Chris in the song without pretending to be someone he's not, because many people are accusing him of being more like Marilyn Manson and everything. Then to me, I think in this song, he's just being him, and that's what makes me feel a bit more connected with that song. Holding to Smoke. Now, there's a distinct lack of energy in this song. Mellower performance just fails to impress me and probably anybody else. The song starts off with light guitars and singing and really sets the tone from other songs at start, though I enjoyed that. I actually feel the entire song could have been better in the vein rather than how it has ended up. I don't mind the song as a whole, but I think something like that would be better having been fresh and different from the band, maybe ditch the shouty vocals even. Maybe they think that song in that kind of realm doesn't really belong in an album like this, or want to follow in the footsteps of many before them. But again, the song is okay, it just isn't for me. Another Life. After 5 seconds, I said to myself, is this 2004 30 Seconds to Mars? This is what Holding On to Smoke should have been. Anything that involves shouting or screaming is used sparingly and in the correct manner to keep the song and the tone of it. Again, Holding On to Smoke overdid it in that regard compared to this one. The balance is more perfect. I repeated the song about 5 times in one sitting after my initial thought, and my view still doesn't change to the arrangement of the song. It is evident that Chris's vocals have come a long way in the ability to sing in different ranges, and it shows dividends in a song such as this. Broadcasting from Beyond the Grave. During the album, we've gone from Slipknot to Korn, then from Korn to 30 Seconds to Mars, and now all I can say is Rob Zombie. You've got a spoken word intro and guitar, and it's all very Rob Zombie-esque. I would actually love to hear Rob Zombie doing a cover of this song, because I think he'd actually be able to do it quite well. When you listen to it, I don't want to sound like a broken record, as many have made comparisons in the past. This is like if Hellbilly Deluxe, Rob Zombie, and Golden Age of Grotesque, Marilyn Manson, had a baby. I'm totally into this song, and it shoves so much in your face from one part to the other, but it mixes it well, without feeling like a convoluted mess. This is totally gym music to rock to. It's not a bad song at all, in fact, really energetic and fun. It's, however, just a little too familiar in places. Brand new Numb. The penultimate track makes a play for being the worst song on the entire record, and it's hard not to get frustrated with Motionless In White at this stage. Now, I find the song catchy, and I will bop around in the car to it, but it's nothing nobody has ever done before. For anyone who's basically heard this song and riffs played 100 times by similar bands will find this as exciting as watching paint dry. It's as if the creative process has started to just, wear and get tired, and they got bored while running out of ideas for what other else to put on the album. Catharsis. Bass and piano wouldn't go amiss in a Muse song. You can't go wrong with that well-used piano in a rock song, if it's done right. If you remove Chris's vocals and put in Matt Bellamy's, you could easily think that this is an unused Muse song with a guest guitar player. The use of certain effects on the piano, the guitar and the bass, all in general that match up with Muse, with their own Motionless In White twist, whether it's meant to or not. The piano is used throughout the entire song, fading into the background during the parts, and then coming back into the foreground when it needs to be, and it all does it really, really well, without it actually losing its own charm. It's a fantastic way to end an album. This album, I think, is the pinnacle of what Motionless In White thus far are like in their careers. It's the most commercial album they've done and they've created, but it doesn't mean that they've watered themselves down in any way. Well, compared to their past efforts, yes, but I mean, they've evolved and grown where they haven't changed or lost sight of whom they are and where they came from. I mean, had Motionless In White been around in the mid-2000s boom of emo, with the likes of MCR and AFI, they would have been just as popular, if not more, than they are now. And had they been before that, with the new metal trend, they probably would have just been like lost in the shuffle. They've shown that you can mix different styles and genres which have been influenced by their childhood, and though to a point gone with the times, which all bands have to do at some degree, they haven't removed themselves from those influences and genres which define them as youngsters and as an early band. To succeed in a space where things like nu metal is always frowned upon by critics but loved by fans the world over, they have shown that others don't have to just conform to what the industry says and be successful. If you can connect with the fan base in the right way, no matter what your style, be it blending genres together in the right way or straight out from one genre and not losing sight of who you are while still evolving, the fans will always evolve with you and respect you and keep coming back to support you as much as they had before. That is my view on this album. I'd give it 3 out of 5 if you want to give it a rating. There's some really good tracks in there and there's a couple of weak ones. You'd probably find yourself going, I don't want to listen to that one, I don't want to listen to that one. So yeah, there's my thoughts. I would recommend going and listen to it. I would recommend going and buying it though if you're a fan of that kind of style of music. And I will see you again when I get round to another one.